Welcome to Screen Fame, where we will discuss why Jar Jar Binks didn't work out for Star Wars. Yo! Now, Jar Jar Binks. He was looked at as a beloved character in the Star Wars universe when he was designed back in 1997. In 1997, the context of what was to become of Jar Jar Binks when they were writing these three-part series, George Lucas had planned on Jar Jar being a hot commodity to be sold like a C3PO or an R2D2. He was going to relaunch and be one of the main characters that was going to be a top selling item. They had a multi of merchandising pieces where Jar Jar was the feature of what they wanted to do. They thought he would be such a beloved character in this new Star Wars format. So, when the movie is released in 1999, it had gotten rave reviews. People thought the fight scenes, the character of Darth Maul, the music, everything was right. Even though the pacing was a little off, the action fight scenes was like going in four different places at one time, and that was confusing. When normally they would do two or three, but to do four scenes was massive. But that's here nor there. None of that had really too much to do with Jar Jar. And, well, it kind of did, because that's why they decided to do four, so that they can have this elaborate layout with Jar Jar. Now, to try to make Jar Jar the hero of the war, because they wanted to promote Jar Jar Binks. Now, moving forward, we have a bit of a problem. Jar Jar Binks' character didn't quite jump off the screen as if George Lucas thought. The fans were laying into Jar Jar. I like this movie, but it was ruined with the annoying Jar Jar Binks. He was just annoying. I hate it. Misa don't want him in the saga no more. Kill Jar Jar. Don't bring him back. It was so much hate because during this time, the media was starting to take a bit of a back seat, and the internet was starting to become the biggest thing out. And at this point, the internet was just getting off the ground. It's 1999. And back then, you couldn't really post nothing but photographs. There were really no video. So the only thing it was photographs and blogs. Blogs were the king of the internet. So it didn't matter what somebody wrote in USA Today. It mattered what Phil38175 said in the blog when he posted something about Jar Jar Binks in the movie. And it had an effect because people started to pile on, listen to John 3, whatever, and go forward. Then he got backed up by TG16528. Then Star Wars Lover Fan came in behind him, and he joined in. And everything became a pile on. And Jar Jar Binks became the most hated character in Star Wars history based off the birth of the internet and the birth of blog sites. Now, because of this, and this whole big blow up. Good morning, Mr. Buckner. And this whole big blow up, you have a situation in which you have this situation now in which you have the fact George Lucas can't believe the outrage. And this is what he keeps saying, and Kathleen Turner Kathleen Turner. Kathleen, the one that runs Star Wars, she does not want to hear them say Star Wars is just for kids. And that is what Lucas always echoed. This was for kids. And if you watch episode 1 with a lot of people, it was for kids. It was designed and it was laid out for children to enjoy, younger children. They never dreamed that all the Star Wars kids that went to watch it from 20 years later when they decided to make the remakes, that these kids are now grown. Now they want their kids to enjoy it. But they're the fans. Okay? See, the parents endured Star Wars, the first ones, but because they knew it was for the kids. It wasn't for them. They just happened to not think it sucked so much. But the kids enjoyed it. They wanted the toys. It was all about them. Now, you got the parents that love Star Wars, and the kids, they are so excited. Their parents, they just caught in the mix. So when the kids saw Jar Jar Binks, they loved Jar Jar. He worked. Jar Jar Binks worked and did his job. The kids loved Jar Jar Binks. Jar Jar, everything Jar Jar did, the kids laughed. The kids laughed at Jar Jar. He was silly, he was goofy, he was for the children. And he worked. So the character did his job. Jar Jar was there for the kids. And what has suffered from Star Wars in the last 2 episodes is that it had no levity to it. It had become way too serious, way too adult. And the whole thing was changed. Jar Jar Binks had such a big role in episode 2. They cut everything. They rewrote him down to having a minimal role in episode 2. And they took out all the joy and the jokes that he brought to the set, to the scene, to bring the levity. And they made it more about R2-D2 and C-3PO. The scene where they have the action scene where it looks like a video game where R2 and C-3PO are going through the conveyor belt and all this stuff being chopped down, and it's all C-3PO doing all these funny bits. That was Jar Jar Binks' role. Jar Jar was the one that's supposed to be there. But they end up rewriting all of this and added all these scenes so that they can bring Jar Jar into this. They found a way to leave Jar Jar in the council, something that he would have never been had it been part of the original script. It made him responsible for putting Chancellor Palpatine in power, ruining government. Jar Jar Binks is not a politician. He was made to be one. He was made to be one. He was made to be one. And since he was made to be a politician, yeah, it was quite amazing during that time because the impact was so big. But now Star Wars had to pivot to try to appease the adults instead of the children because of all these blog posts. So they wanted to make the adults happy. And once they started changing the script to fit people's ideals, they were getting away from what made them great, was doing what they felt. And episode 2, I liked, but I liked the book much more, and I felt the book was much better. And because the book was much better, we kind of got shafted. We didn't get what we thought we were going to get. We got hosed. The book was so much better than the movie that when things weren't in there, my cousin didn't even stick around for the trilogy. He just got out completely. He was so disappointed because he was hurt that they didn't put the certain things in there with Anakin that was in the book into the movie. And they just showed this one scene, but they couldn't, at the risk of getting a PG-13 rating, show those type of things. And my cousin was like, so? I don't care about no rating. I want to see it. So, henceforth, the reason why things went the way they did. So, well, of course, all these details in Star Wars was based on actual real world wars that have happened in the United States of America. The whole details of how the Emperor took power, how he instigated both sides of the war, that's stuff that the United States do all the time. They lie and start wars, and all governments do it. So it's just the secrets of war that a lot of people don't know that transpire. The Spanish-American War was created because America wanted to go raid Spain, so they blew up their own boat, tour boat, blamed Spain for it, and went over there to start a war with Spain. And that started the Spanish-American War. Sadistic, but genius. Exactly, Justin. I'm glad that you were the one that actually seen what I was saying about it. Rian Johnson has abandoned his trilogy for Star Wars, and I don't blame him. He took a lot of abuse. He couldn't even go and enjoy social media because fans nowadays are just so twisted. They would rather hate something than enjoy it. It was not what they thought the movie was going to be. In their minds, they saw a whole different movie. So when the movie comes out and they don't give them what they thought they were going to see, and they don't even recognize that the movie is great. It's something you've never seen. In Star Wars lore, everything was different. A lot of everything in the movie was different. I'm like, wow, I never suspected that happening. I thought they were going to go on a mission. They were going to go on the ship. They were going to put the chip in. It's going to stop it. In Star Wars, it's drawn out that way. The mission's going to work. No matter what. It's going to work. So the way this was drawn out, nothing was working the way it was drawn out at all. They got captured. A lot of stuff was just going wrong. The plan, the way they were going to escape didn't work. They were getting shot out the air. Boom, boom, boom. No one foreseen any of that. They thought every plan they came up with in Star Wars, they always take a plan that is like has a very low percentage chance of working and working. That has been the theme of Star Wars. This one mocked that idea of Star Wars, that it takes a minimum risk to do. The best opening scene in Star Wars history is in The Last Jedi. They have never opened with a better scene in Star Wars history. Now, The Empire Strikes Back was my favorite opening in a movie, just from the way they bring in, when they introduce Vader. When that introduction, dun, 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 different director, different everything. The way he directed the film was so impactful without having it to be dark. It was dark. You felt the presence of the Empire just from that opening stanza. Now, The Last Jedi had the best opening scene in Star Wars history. In history. How in the world is anybody upset with them? I have no idea. My hands are in the air like, what do you want, people? What in the world could you possibly want? What more? Matter of fact, I'm finna pop in The Last Jedi. Y'all done got me open this thing up. By the way, The Last Jedi was the top selling DVD in 2018. Just want everybody to know that. The top selling DVD in 2018 was The Last Jedi. So, much of all the controversy, people still loved it. So, and as always, here, 4K action. Oh yeah. The Revenge of the Sith opening was cool. I liked how it started with a war, and they were in space and doing what they need to do. Here, I don't know if this worked. Somebody might have gotten it already. I might have given somebody the code, but in case I didn't, here's the free code if you want to digitally download the movie and own it. I don't know if someone has it yet. They might have it. So don't hold me to this if it don't work. But this film has been viewed before. Of course it has. Do you want to continue where you left off? I probably left off at the credits. Let me just hit yes, just to see where we are. Because I probably went back to a scene. Nope, in the credits. I love I love this movie. I don't know what people are on. The look, everything. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. The whole scale of it. Exactly. Every time somebody tries something, they tried a new way. It was an excellent film, excellently done, and now Ryan Johnson just wants nothing to do with Star Wars anymore. And I don't blame him. You know, to be a fan of it and you make something that you know in your heart is just beautiful, and to have people dump on it the way they did is just disgusting. And I could see it's heartbreaking to him. As much as he engaged with fans, like he was outside shaking the fans' hands, meeting with the fans, and they were all giving him all this praise and love, and now he just divorced himself from the project. Basically, he just like I don't even want to make the next three Star Wars. I don't blame him.
Backpack! I need a...
You
Come closer,
will
child.
give me everything.
So much strength. Darkness rises and light to meet it. I warned my young apprentice that as he grew stronger, his equal in the light would rise. Skywalker.
Snoke.
Wrongly. Closer, I said.
You underestimate Skywalker, and Ben Solo, and me. It will be your downfall.
Have you seen something? A weakness in my apprentice? Is that why you came?
Snoke. Man, that's the only thing that got me bothered with Snoke. I wanted to see Snoke go further, but what bothered the fans, the casual people, is because they're once again didn't get what they expected, and the fact is they were like, "Wait a minute, we don't know nothing about Snoke. We don't know nothing about Rey's parents. What about Snoke? Who is he? Where did he come from?" You guys knew nothing about the Emperor. Except for in Return of the Jedi, he was a hologram. And you knew that's who Darth Vader answered to. You didn't know anything about the Emperor until that he had powers and what he could do until Return of the Jedi. And then he died. He was never an intricate plot in the Star Wars lore. The Emperor was just the guy in charge. But he basically was there for one scene in Return of the Jedi. Then he was gone. Once they did the prequels, then you knew about Palpatine and how he ended up becoming. And then they started writing about him, and you knew about the Emperor. So the whole prequels was all about him. Basically, how he rose to power and everything he did and took over and ended up ruling. So that's when you learned about the Emperor. So you wouldn't know all this stuff about him if it wasn't for that. So we might get something about Snoke, which I know we will, in the future. The future Star Wars films that are going to come out. You're going to learn more about the history of Snoke. This is how Star Wars work. They don't give you everything right off the bat. This is not a Marvel movie. Star Wars is about story. Rogue One worked because it was very nostalgic. It had to be. But Rogue One was rewritten so many times. Thank God it just worked. In the original, Jean Orso, she survives. Then a final decision made to kill the character off. Then we got to see some of Darth Vader in action in that little corridor in Rogue One.
Young fool. It was I who bridged your minds. I stuck with Ren's conflicted soul. I knew he was not strong enough to hide it from you.
Exactly. But Solo movie was changed a lot too. That if you get the bonus features, you'll love the bonus features because it was shot with the old director. And when you see the reshoots done by Ron Howard, I kind of like the old director. Even though I love Solo, once I watched the bonus scenes, I'm like, I kind of like the other guy's direction. I kind of like the way he was going with the film. Right. See, this one, I think everybody's judging Star Wars too much. This is going to be the home run ball. Because this is it for Star Wars. The Skywalker era, all of this is coming to an end right now. This movie's going to be huge. They are making a new Spawn movie. Jamie Foxx is playing Simmons. So what does that tell you? Yeah. Yep, Jamie Foxx is Simmons. Todd McFarlane chose him. How could you not know this? It's Todd McFarlane at his house with Jamie Foxx. As they are set, as he has his Simmons. Now, as far as Jar Jar Binks is concerned, I would have loved to see them complete the movie the way it was originally written. The rewrites, I think, is what killed episode 2. And they finally got the budget they like. And now your Spawn is Jamie Foxx. Hey, I'm Simmons. I can sing. I felt they could have still had the same actor. I love the first Spawn. I mean, how did y'all miss this news? Spawn will not flop. I guarantee you that. It's gonna do what it wants to do. Todd McFarlane's got the money now, and you know it's gonna be crazy dark. Crazy dark. And they have another character that's going to be in the Spawn movie. Here he is. Boom! Jeremy Renner. And he's going to be playing this guy. Tell me you know who that is. Tell me you know who that character is. Let's see how well you really know Spawn. All right, somebody's awake. Oh, it's going down all right. That's right. Southeast 01 is awake. He said that's nobody but Twitch Williams. The Detective Twitch. This is the first movie Todd McFarlane is directing. Todd McFarlane has never directed before in his life, but he's directing his own product. He's directing this movie. He has never directed a film. And his first movie that he's going to direct is the Spawn reboot. Now I'm going to do a video on it. And we're going to start going through some of the things that's happening. I think it'll be a gigantic movie, to be honest.